Hi friends, welcome to Cyber Pathshala. Today's topic is looping control statements in Java. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about what are the looping control statements in Java and a for loop, while loop, do while loop, for each loop, and sample programs on all these looping control statements. So as usual, train your brain session and Q&A session. Looping control statements in Java. So normally we write a Java program, and while you run this Java program, all the statements will get executed from top to bottom, and all the statements get executed one after the other, right? So let's assume there is a situation where you need to execute some of the statements or a single statement for a number of times or several times. So in these kind of scenarios, how will you handle this? So I'll give you an example here. So let's say you wanted to print a numbers from 1 to 100. So can we write a print statement for each number like system.out.println for 1, 2, 3 and so on for 100? No, right? We cannot write the same statement for 100 times. And also let's assume you wanted to print a hello world statement for 100 times. So we cannot write the same print statement for 100 times, right? So in these kind of scenarios, so we need to leverage the looping control statements in Java. So what these looping control statements will provide you is, so in simple words, a looping control statements will allow you to execute a single statement or a group of statements for multiple times. So this is the advantage with the looping control statements in Java. So and these are the basic looping control statements under Java. One is a for loop, while loop, do while loop, and for each loop. All these looping control statements will allow us to execute a single statement or a group of statements for multiple times. For loop. So for loop is used to iterate a statement or a group of statements for several times, and this for loop is specifically used when the number of iterations is fixed. It means, let's say you want to iterate some of these statements for 10 times or 20 times. If you know the exact number, like how many times you wanted to iterate, so in those kind of scenarios, so it is recommended to use a for loop. So in the for loop we have three sections. One is initialization, condition, and then increment or decrement. In the initialization section, we'll be assigning an initial value to the variable which we'll be using inside a loop. And inside the condition, this will be used to verify whether the execution of the looping statement should be continued or not. So always this condition will return a boolean value. It could be a true value or it could be a false value. If the condition returns true, the loop will continue its execution. If it is a false, so the loop will be terminated and the control will be comes out of that loop. So and the next section is increment or decrement. So in this section, initially we assigned a value for a variable which we will be using inside a loop, right? So now in the increment or a decrement section, either we will be incrementing that variable with some value or we will be decrementing that variable with some value. So that can be done under increment or a decrement section. The syntax for loop is for open brace initialization section semicolon and then a condition and then a semicolon, either an increment or a decrement of a variable, and then closing brace. So open curly brace and then closed curly brace. Inside this open and closed curly brace, we can write any number of statements, so which needs to be executed for several times. Or while loop. While loop is also used to iterate a statement or a group of statements for several times. So while discussing the for loop, we discussed that it is recommended to use a for loop if the number of iterations is fixed. Whereas in while loop, if the number of iterations is not fixed, then it is recommended to use a while loop. It means that you are not sure of how many times you need to execute the looping statements. So in those kind of scenarios, we need to use a while loop. So in the while loop also we have two sections, condition and then increment or decrement. So the condition inside a while loop is also as same as for loop. It will also verify whether the execution of the looping statements inside a while loop should continue or not based on its boolean value. It will also return either a true or false. If it returns true, the statements inside a while loop will get executed. If it returns false, the statements inside a while loop will not execute. So and then the increment or a decrement sections. So in this section we'll be either increment the initialized variable or we'll be decrementing that initialized variable inside the while loop. So the syntax for while loop is while open brace condition and then closed brace and then open curly brace and then the set of statements which needs to be executed for a several times, and then we'll be writing either an increment or a decrement for the initialized variable which will be used inside a condition, and then we'll be closing the curly brace for the while loop. Do while loop. It is also similar to a while loop. So in the while loop, first the condition will be verified. After that, the set of statements inside a while loop will get executed. Whereas in do while loop, first the execution of statements will happen. After that only the condition will be verified. If the condition returns true, then the next iteration will continue in the do while loop. If the condition returns false, so then the next iteration won't get executed. So it means in the while loop, at least one iteration may or may not happen, whereas in do while loop at least one iteration will definitely happen. After that only the condition will be verified. Do while loop is also recommended to be used when the number of iterations is not fixed, and in the do while loop we have two sections, condition and then increment or a decrement. So the condition will return a boolean value, either it can be a true or a false. If it returns true, so the execution of a do while loop continues. If it returns false, the execution of a do while loop will be terminated. So and then we have a increment or a decrement section. Here we will be either increment or a decrement the initialized variable with some value. The syntax for do while loop is do open curly brace and then statements to be executed for several times, and then increment or a decrement section for a initialized variable, and then closed curly brace while open brace condition closed brace and then semicolon. So this is the syntax for a do while loop. For each loop, so it is also similar to a for loop, and we also call it as enhanced for loop, and it got introduced in J2SE 5.0. The main advantage of for each loop is it provides a convenient way of traversing through an array or a collection inside a Java. So we can do the same thing using a for loop also, but while using a for loop there is a chance of doing a programmatic mistakes, whereas in for each loop we won't be doing that because it can be handled by the for each loop itself. There are some drawbacks with this for each loop also, like it cannot traverse through the elements in the reverse order, and you do not have an option to skip any element in the array or a collection because it does not work on index basis, and you cannot traverse through only the odd elements in the array or even elements in the array. So these kind of things you cannot do with the for each loop, and but it eliminates the programmatic errors. And the syntax for each loop is for open brace and then the data type and then a variable semicolon and then followed by an array or a collection and then closing brace open curly brace and the set of statement which needs to be executed for several times and then closing curly brace. So here the data type should be of same type of like an array or a collection. So as an example, let's say if you are using a string array, the data type should be of string type. So like this. Let us write some sample programs on all the looping control statements whatever we have discussed so far. Here I am opening a new notepad to write a sample program for a for loop. Window or notepad. So here I am defining my class for loop example. So this is my class name, and I'm opening my class and I'm closing my class. Inside that I'm defining my main method. Public static void main string args. So this is my main method. I'm opening my main method and I'm closing my main method. So inside that I'm writing a print statement saying that system.out.println I am writing for loop to print 1 to 10 numbers. So this is a print statement I have written, and after that I am writing a for loop to print the 1 to 10 numbers. Let us try to write a for loop here. So we have learned that in for loop we will be having three sections: initialization, condition, and then increment or a decrement. So here I am declaring a variable int I equals to 1. So I declared a variable I here, and then I assigned a value 1 to the variable I. So this is called initialization, and after that I am putting a semicolon, and then I am writing a condition saying that I less than or equals to 10. So here the condition is I value should be less than or equals to 10. So then only the statements inside this for loop will get executed. So and after that I'm putting one more semicolon, and here we need to write either an increment or a decrement. So in this case I'm using an increment I plus plus, which means the I value will be incremented by 1 here. So after that I'm opening my for loop brace, and then I'm closing my for loop brace. So inside that I'm writing system dot out dot println. So I'm just printing only the I value here, and I'm just putting a semicolon to finish the statement. So let us save this program. So I'm saving it as for loop example dot java. So let us open a command prompt and then try to compile this. Java C for loop example.java. So it got compiled successfully. Let us try to run this. So if you see here, so it printed me for loop to print 1 to 10 numbers. It also printed me the values from 1 to 10. So let us go back to the program and see. So if you see here, my initial value for I is 1, and then it verified the condition whether this I value is less than or equals to 10 or not. So in this case 1 is less than or equals to 10, and it printed that statement. After that the increment will happen. So in this case the I value will be 2 now. So the initialization will not happen again. So only the condition and then increment or decrement will be continued further. So in this case now the I value is 2 less than or equals to 10, it printed, and then I value will be incremented with 1 again. It will be 3 now. So it just continues the same way. So let's assume the I value is 9 less than or equals to 10, it printed the 9. Now the I value is 10 now, 10 less than or equals to 10, because we have given the equal to case also, and it printed the 10 also, and then the I value again incremented, so it will be 11 now. So it will be verifying whether this condition 11 less than or equals to 10 or not. So in this case it is not. So the execution of this loop will be terminated and it comes out of that loop. So that is the reason the 11 is not getting printed here. So this is how you can write a simple program for a for loop. Let us try to write a sample program for a while loop here. I'm opening a notepad for the same. So here I'm defining my class while loop example. So this is my class name. I'm opening my class and I'm closing my class. So inside that I'm defining my main method, public static void main string args. I'm opening my main method and I'm closing my main method, and also I'm writing a print statement here, system dot out dot println printing 1 to 10 numbers. So I'm just putting a semicolon to finish the statement. After that I'm writing the while loop here, while I less than or equals to 10. So this is my condition, and I'm opening my while loop and I'm closing my while loop. So inside that I'm just printing a I value here, system dot out dot println. So I'm just printing I value here. I just put a semicolon to finish the statement. And also here I'm incrementing the I with a value 1, so I'm simply writing I plus plus, so which will increment the I value with a 1 here. I'm just putting a semicolon. So let us save this program first. While loop example dot Java. So let us save this and let us compile this program and see what happens. I'm opening a command prompt here. So I'm going to my Java programs folder. So let me compile this and see what happens. My Java program name is while loop example.java. So if you see here, it gave me an error saying that cannot find symbol variable I, because if you see our program, we have written a condition I less than or equals to 10, but nowhere we declare the variable I, right? So that was the issue here. So now let us try to declare that variable before the while loop starts. So here I'm declaring my variable I. So int I equals to 1. I'm just putting a semicolon. Let us save this again. Let us compile it. Java C while loop example.java. So if you see here, now it got compiled successfully. Now try to run it. So Java while loop example. So this is my class name. If you see here, it is just printing 1 to 10 numbers, and it's printed the 1 to 10 numbers here. Now let us try to write a program for a do while loop here. I'm opening a notepad for the same. So let me maximize this. So here I'm declaring my class do while loop example. So this is my class name. I'm opening my class and I'm closing my class. So inside that I'm defining my main method again. So public static void main string args. I'm opening my main method and I'm closing my main method. So inside that, let me print a statement system.out.println printing 1 to 10 numbers using do while loop. So I'm putting a semicolon to finish the statement. After that, I'm writing my do while loop. Do, opening the do while loop and closing the do while loop. Inside that, I'm writing a print statement system.out.println. I'm just printing a variable I here. So and after that I'm writing my condition. So while I less than or equals to 10. So this is my condition and I'm putting a semicolon to finish the do while loop. So here we didn't declare the variable I here. So let me just first declare that. So int I equals to 1. So I initialize with a value 1. So and after that inside the loop I'm incrementing that with a value 1 here. So for that I'm writing I plus plus, which means the I value will be incremented by a 1. So let us save this program again. I'm saving it with do while loop example dot Java. So let us save this. Let me open a command prompt again. So let us try to compile this program. So if you see here, it got compiled successfully. Let me run it. So it just printed that, printing 1 to 10 numbers using a do while loop, and then it printed all 1 to 10 numbers. So let us go back to the program and see so how this will be executed. So first the value 1 will be assigned to the variable I. After that, first thing that it does is it prints the I value directly here without checking the condition, and then it increments the value with I value with 1, and then it checks the condition. So the moment it checks the condition here, the I value will be 2. So this is the main difference between the while loop and do while loop. Now let us try to write a sample program to understand the difference between a while loop and do while loop. For that, I'm opening a new notepad. Class def between while and do while. So this is my class name. I'm opening my class and I'm closing my class. So inside that, I'm defining my main method again. Public static void main string args. So I'm opening my main method and I'm closing my main method. So inside that, first I'm printing system dot out dot println diff between while and do while loops. I just put a semicolon to finish the statement. Now here I'm defining a while loop first. So for that I'm declaring a variable int I equals to 10. So this is the value I'm assigning, and after that I'm writing my while loop. While I less than 10. So this is the condition I put for my while loop, and after that I'm opening my while loop and I'm closing my while loop. So inside that I'm printing system dot out dot println. I'm saying while loop executed, and I'm just printing the value I here, and inside that I put an increment for a variable I, so I plus plus, so the value of I will be incremented by 1. I'm just putting a semicolon to finish my statement. So now let us try to write the same conditions for using a do while loop. So for that I'm defining one more variable int j equals to 10. So now I'm opening my do while loop, do, and then opening a do while loop and then closing a do while loop. Inside that I'm printing system dot out dot println. I'm saying do while loop executed, and I'm just printing the variable j here. I'm just putting a semicolon to finish the statement, and I'm writing a increment for a j here, j plus plus. So the variable j will be incremented by 1. So and after that I'm writing my condition while j less than 10, and I'm putting a semicolon to finish the do while loop. So now let us first try to save this program. I'm saving it with diff between while and do while. So this is my Java file name. So now let us save this. So now our program got saved successfully. Now let us try to compile it. Java C diff between while and do while.java. So if you see here, now the program got compiled successfully. Now let us try to run it. Java diff between while and do while. So now let us try to run it. So if you see here, it printed me the first statement diff between while and do while loop executed, and it printed the value 10. So now let us go back to the program and see. So and try to understand the logic here. So if you see here, the I value is initially 10, and after that the first thing that it is while loop is doing is it is checking the condition. So whether the 10 is less than 10 or not. So in this case the 10 is not less than 10, right? So that is the reason these statements are not didn't gets executed. Whereas if you see here in the do while loop case, the j value is initially 10, and after that first it executing the statements without even checking the condition. So that is the reason it printed the do while loop executed, and then it printed the value 10 here, and now the j value is incremented with the 1, and it became 11 now. Now it is verifying the condition whether this j is less than 10 or not. So in this case now we have 11 inside j, and 11 is not less than 10, right? So that is the reason for the next time this statements are didn't gets executed. So this is the main difference between a while loop and do while loop. Now let us try to write a sample program for a for each loop. So for that I'm opening a new notepad here, class for each loop. So this is my class name, and I'm opening my class and I'm closing my class. So inside that I'm defining my main method, public static void main string args. So this is my main method. So inside that now I'm going to write a for each loop. So before that let me print a statement, simple statement, system dot out dot println printing 1 to 10 numbers using for each loop. So now let us try to write a for each loop here. So before that, so we have learned that for each loop will be used to traverse through an array or a collection. So now I'm going to use an array. So for that I'm declaring an integer array here. So this is how you can declare an integer array, int arr. So and I'm assigning the values here in the same place. So I'm assigning 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So these are the values I have assigned inside a array arr. So now let us try to write a for each loop here. So this is the syntax for each loop. For int I. So now we need to put a colon here, not the semicolon, and I'm going to write the arr, which is my array. So this is my array, and after that I'm writing a statement here, system dot out dot println, and I'm just going to print the variable I here. So we have also learned that so whatever the data type that I declare, it needs to be of the same type that which we were traversing through. So in this case I declared the arr as an integer type array. So that is the reason I declared an int variable. So if I declare this array as a string type, so I should be using a string data type here. So now let us I already printed the statement. Now let us try to save this program. For each loop dot java. So let me save this. Now let me open a command prompt and try to compile it. Java C for each loop dot. Okay, so let me rename this once. Save as, I missed out the A in the last. All files, save it. Now let me compile it. So it got compiled successfully now. Now let us try to run it. Java for each loop. So this is my class name. So it said that printing 1 to 10 numbers using a for each loop, and it printed the 1 to 10 numbers here. So let us go back and see the program here. So it basically traversed this for each loop is used to traverse through this array. So here it won't be using an index, but it will be traversing through the array here, and so every time the whatever the element that it is accessing, so that will be assigned to the variable I here. So first initially the value 1 will be assigned to the int I, and then the next value 2 and it continues till the array got finished. We were able to successfully finish the sample programs for all the looping control statements whatever we have discussed so far. Previous session train your brain question is, one rabbit saw 6 elephants while going towards the river, and every elephant saw 2 monkeys are going towards the river, and every monkey holds 1 tortoise in their hand. How many animals are going towards the river? So now let us read this question once again carefully. So if you see here, one rabbit saw 6 elephants while going towards the river. So here the rabbit is going towards the river and it saw 6 elephants. And every elephant saw 2 monkeys are going towards the river. So here the 2 monkeys are going towards the river and every elephant saw them. And every monkey holds 1 tortoise in their hand and they are going towards the river. So obviously these 2 tortoises also going towards the river. So totally 1 rabbit and 2 monkeys and 2 tortoise. So totally 5 animals are going towards the river. So that is the answer. Today's session train your brain question is, if 5 cats can catch 5 mice in 5 minutes, how long will it take 1 cat to catch 1 mouse? So I'm repeating the question again. If 5 cats can catch 5 mice in 5 minutes, how long will it take 1 cat to catch 1 mouse? If you have any questions in today's session, please write down them in the comment section. I'll pick the top 5 questions which will be useful for everyone, and those gets answered in the next session. If you directly come to this video, here we have the complete playlist. Please go through it. If you haven't liked this video yet, please click on the like button. And if you feel this video is helpful, please share it with your friends and family members. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please subscribe and please click on the bell icon to receive all the notifications. Thank you.